Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenore and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Aries. If Aries is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, then this is a message for you. All right, let's get started. And so Aries, tonight our card is the Princess of Discs. Okay, and let's go ahead and take a look and see what do these tea leaves have to say. And so if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. It is free to subscribe. And if you would like to hit the like button or leave a comment, I would love to hear from you, especially if you're new to the channel. Now, immediately, I just want to point this out so I don't forget, but we have 062. 0620, I think. That's what it looks like. 0620, if that means anything to you. Okay, so I feel like there's a situation, or maybe it's kind of this urge, these ideas coming up in your mind, and you're thinking about them, and you're figuring out, how am I going to get this going? How am I going to start this process? And that is to be building a home, maybe finding your new home, finding a place that feels like home. If you are in the place that is your home, I feel like this is definitely kind of a sense of maybe doing some repairs or building onto some kind of renovations. But there's this feeling of transition. Absolutely, that's the big thing, is that something new happening in your physical world, but it's something that you are doing, you're hands-on, okay? Now, we have that Princess of Discs. If you can see, and maybe it is hard to kind of notice, but the princess, she is pregnant, right? She is pregnant with life. She is the discs, which is the earth element, right? So these are matters that have to do with the physical world, right? So it might be that she's like literally pregnant with a child that will be manifest in a physical form, but it could also be making money, right? It could also be getting your household in order. It could be within your work, your career. You know, things that are happening in our collective reality, right? Base reality, in our waking life. And so I do feel like there is this, it is a hope, a motivation, a desire to have things the way that you want them, to be in a literal home, apartment, trailer, whatever it is, right? Where you feel like, yeah, I can lay my head down, I can rest easy, I have my things here, I can cook, I can clean, I can maybe have a little flower bed, you know, whatever. I hopefully like feel comfortable around my neighbors. Everything's cool. It's not too loud. It's not too quiet. It's not, you know, whatever. Everything is kind of in that perfect zone for you. And I see you really, really on this journey to get that sorted. Absolutely. We have the two people up here getting on top of the building, right? Like they're going to get up there and fix the roof. Now above we have the face of a deer. You can see the eyes right here, the nose, kind of some ears, And so I look at this and it's like those pictures of animals that are all like majestic looking, and then somebody takes a front, like a straight on picture of their face and they look super goofy. If you've never seen, like, if you don't know what I'm talking about, you're like, what does that mean, Lenore? Go look up a picture of a bald eagle, right? Like straight in the face. They're so goofy looking. On the side of their face, they look very majestic, but straight on, my goodness. So I'm looking at this and it feels like kind of a silly spiritual event. And I don't know exactly what that means, but I imagine there's almost kind of like a lot of laughter. And it feels healing. I feel like there is a sense of relief in this connection, in this moment where, yeah, maybe it's like you're hanging out with people from your church, from your temple, from your mosque. You're having dinner, you're laughing and talking about things that are deep and moving. And, you know, you can't remember the last time that you had this kind of deeper than surface level conversation with somebody, you know, and I feel like there is it's like a magnetic force, right? It's when you go from living your life almost feeling like, I feel like it's like, you know, every situation, every encounter you have is either work, like businessy, like family stuff, right? You're being professional because it's like family oriented things. It's like, you know, dealing with your kid's doctor or with parents from their school, or, you know, whatever. You have this like certain amount of you have to have a good rapport, right? You have to kind of keep your wits about you, you know, be very thoughtful about the things that you're saying. You're not just kind of like wild and all, you know, saying whatever comes to mind, basically. Yeah, and I think that a lot of us, we have this even with our friends to some degree, right? It's always kind of as you get older maybe, and maybe this is just my take on it, is that you can go so far, but you don't really want to like emotionally dump on somebody. You don't necessarily want them to do that with you. And so you stay in this kind of like middle zone together. But then every once in a while, you will meet somebody that you can really go there with, you know, and it doesn't have to be like we're going to talk about all of our traumas, but let's talk about God. Let's talk about our spirituality. Let's talk about magic and phenomenon, you know, whatever it is. And feeling like for the first time in a long time, you can express parts of yourself that maybe, you know, your family gets annoyed with, or they don't really listen, or you're afraid to sound crazy around certain people or whatever, right? And so I feel like in this moment with this deer, it's easy and it's wonderful and it's just pouring out of you. And I feel like your energy is matched, and in this place of ease, there's also, yeah, the smiling, the laughing, the feeling deeply connected and safe and seen and heard, and the ability to see and hear somebody else. And this is a fantastic feeling. I feel like this is something that it amps you up. It almost sometimes when you have these connections, especially when they are fleeting, right? You've only met them for this one night, or you only really get to know them for a brief amount of time, and circumstances kind of, lead you apart or whatever. It almost kind of feels like the divine speaking to you through somebody else. Like it's a direct channel. And I feel you in this place of great transition. And that's really where I feel like you're at. It is. There's a lot of transition in your physical world, and even in your goals and your desires. They have changed. They've absolutely changed in the last years. And I see you really working towards honoring your new wants, desires, the path that you are on, living a life that really it supports, it upholds, it honors that new vision that you have. Now, we also have the number 290, 290. I'm looking. We have EX, so X and X possibly. Okay, so I see a message coming through. We have a person here. Okay, here's their head, their body, their arm. Coming out of their hand is a bird. Here's somebody ready to receive it. And we have a rose up there. Ooh, are you getting back with an ex? Or at least they're trying. This might be the big distraction. Look, it even looks like it says B-A-E, bae. Ooh. Yeah, so I think that there's maybe some kind of flirtation with an ex, with somebody from the past. Maybe you're talking again. Maybe this has been an ongoing thing, but you're not together, but you're still kind of feeling each other. I want to look at these clarifying. We're going to look at our clarifying cards over here. So these are the Oracle of the Radiant Sun, and they're Oracle cards, as the title says. And I'm just going to pick 3 of them. I want to look at this and see. I wanted to clarify kind of what's going on with this person from your past. And I'm going to flip through, and I'm just going to stop where it feels right. We have birth. Caution. Ooh. Resourcefulness. Okay. So I'm not getting the best vibes. I'm almost wondering if this is somebody who you kind of always go back to or romanticize your relationship, that it feels pretty far in the past, but you kind of always stay friends, stay in each other's lives, depending on kind of like who you're dating, who you've been married to, or whatever. I wonder if you had a child together, or if there was a child and there was a loss. Immediately, that's what I kind of felt like, was there, or a desire to have a child together, and that kind of never came together, right? But I do feel like you've had children with other people, or they have. And this feels more like it's them. Like they have another child or children. They've maybe been married to somebody else or been with multiple other people over the years. I don't feel like it's that they're a malicious or nefarious person, but I think that this is a selfish person. And I feel like there is a necessity for some caution with them, because I feel like to some degree, and it may be that you are kind of doing the same thing in some way, is that you're like their emotional support. You're that friend, that lover, that beloved person in their life that will kind of always be there for them. but they don't invest with you, right? It's like, I'm the one that you come crying to. I'm the one that you call first. I'm the one that, you know, when something is going really good or going really bad, I'm the one that you're coming to. But we never get to a place where we're actually together. We've never lived together, maybe. You know, there's never been like a serious attempt to kind of have a committed relationship, you know, at least like not in a long time. And yet you still are kind of doing a lot of emotional labor with them, right? And, you know, I think a lot of it comes down to them being kind of a resourceful person. And that's a really nice way of saying that they maybe are somebody who uses the people that are around them, if they realize that or not, right? Like, this is a person that is going to go on a date so they can get a meal, right? They're not interested in dating. They're not interested in the person, but they're hoping, yeah, this person's going to pay for my meal because they're resourceful. Okay, you know, and listen, no knocking that, right? It's nice to get a free meal once in a while. But I just feel like this is somebody that, I mean, they will just do what they must. And I feel like you just have such a soft spot. And this maybe, aside from if you have children, this maybe is the only person that can run you in your life. This is like your kryptonite person, right? You have no defense against them because you're in love with them. You'll always be in love with them. And, you know, at times I think it's been heartbreaking. I don't know that you care anymore. Honestly, I feel almost like you just love them, and you're in this place where it's like, I'm not going to put, you know, restrictions or rules or if you behave this way, then I'm not going to love you anymore. Or, you know, if you don't give me this, I'm not going to love you anymore. I feel like you're beyond all that. You just know that you love them. It's unconditional. And it might not ever become a relationship again, you know, directly and involved in that way. But I don't know that that's what you want anymore. I think you're just happy to have them in your life. And, you know, ultimately that might be one of the best situations ever. I don't know, you know. I think it all depends on you. How fulfilled are you in this? And, you know, does it feel like you're being led on, or are you okay with that, or, you know, whatever. I don't, listen, I'm talking to an Aries person. It's not like somebody's going to get over on you like that, right? You are somebody who is smart, intelligent, you know what's up. And, you know, in this time in your life, I think that it's okay. It's okay to be the friend. It's okay to be that kind of ride or die for somebody who, you know, you might never end up with. But you have had one of the closest connections that you'll ever have with them. And so, let's take a look. Let's see what's going on over here. So, we have the messages, we have the roses. I almost kind of feel like there's it's like an emotional growth here, a self-evolution. I'm looking down here, we have a like more anatomical looking heart, and then we have a heart up here. I'm wondering if somebody had heart issues and maybe that's why they ended up passing. I almost feel like this is like a role model, a parent, grandparent, somebody like that. And I feel like when you were younger, you maybe did not understand first of all, their behavior, maybe their personality was wonderful and awful at the same time, right? It kind of maybe even vacillated between the two. And I think that they were somebody who maybe had some troubled romantic relationships. Maybe even it's like your parents, and you could never understand why they stayed together, or maybe why they broke up, or, you know, whatever. And I think as you've gotten older, you've started to really understand more deeply. And that's what those roses are. The roses really represent the mysteries in life, right? If you know anything about the Rosicrucians or alchemy, or a lot depicted in a lot of like medieval artwork, they're constantly roses, some of them closed, some of them wide open. So this is kind of a image of the sub rosa, which is the hidden thing, right? The mystery of it all, the thing behind the thing. And I believe as you have gotten older, and as you have lived life, and you've made some mistakes, and you've had some failures, and you've had some triumphs, you can look more kindly upon those people in your life, especially this person who maybe wasn't the most upstanding or the most kind or the most loving person, but they were somebody who you respect, somebody who you continue to love, even in their absence. And I think that you have come into a place of understanding them more as a human being. And that has released a lot of stress from your heart and your mind, ultimately. To be able to look at a situation and think, you know, forever I thought they were a monster, or I couldn't understand why didn't they just like settle down and stay with us as a family, or, you know, whatever it is. And finally, in this part of your life, I think you're starting to understand, you know, maybe not exactly why they made those decisions, but that they're a human being and they were flawed. And, you know, maybe some of the resentment or anger or hurt that you probably still carry with you, right? Which we all do, don't we? We all carry those hurts and those letdowns and that kind of, what the heck, mom and dad, you know? But when we can start to release some of it, it really is such a blessing. It is such a gift to ourselves to not carry that around, you know? And that's where I think you are. I think you're really starting to understand more and more. We're all just human. None of us know what the heck we're doing. We're all just trying to survive the day. And especially if we have kids, we're trying to, you know, not totally mess it up. And sometimes we mess it up, right? And so, yeah, I think that this is kind of a really grounded period of time for you. You know, I feel you really just kind of coming into acceptance of a lot of things in your life. And there is such a freedom in all of that. Absolutely. Okay, I'm going to flip through and stop where it feels right. These are our gratitude cards. They're from Purple Canyon, and it says Path of Life. I am grateful for my past. Each step on the path of life has brought me here, and I celebrate this exciting journey. Bring to mind a memory you're grateful for on your life path. Savor it in your mind and let yourself feel grateful. Yes. Gratitude is one of the great equalizers in life. When you are living in a place of gratitude, you will find reasons to be happy and appreciative, even in the biggest SH show, right? Even when things are just chaos, you will find ways to say, well, you know, at least whatever. I'm trying to think, you know, I always do this with my daughter. Whenever something's going wrong, right? Whenever we're having a meltdown or something didn't happen that was supposed to, or she didn't get what she wanted because, you know, whatever, we'll find a reason. We'll talk about it. Well, at least it was really nice out today. At least we got to go to the park today. At least, you know, we were lucky and we got to make a beautiful dinner together, or, you know, whatever it is. And I know it can be hard, and I know it can feel almost kind of contrived, but if we get into that mode, right? It's like I'm stuck in traffic for the next 30 minutes, 45 minutes, whatever. At least I can listen to my podcast. At least I can sit here and, you know, think about whatever. I can make a list, or I can, you know, listen to music. I can, whatever it is, compose a symphony while I'm sitting in traffic, you know, and it changes. It really does. It changes how we feel about life, you know, and it's simple. It really is the most simple things that just get us to the next place. All of the keys of the universe, all of the secrets of the universe are something very obvious and very simple. I fully believe that. And so, yeah, if you are so inclined, I think it's also a great habit to just, you know, keep a gratitude journal, a little list. I like to use legal paper, those like legal pads, because they're yellow and they're bright and they feel happy. And I just write down whenever throughout the day. I have notepads all over the house. I know it's annoying probably to people, but I have like one next to the bed. I have one in the dining room area. I have one in my office. I have, you know, there's one out in the living room, and I just keep notes of things, right? I just write it down. I think of something, I see something beautiful, I feel something that is, you know, lifting my spirit. I write it down. I just write it down. And we don't have to do anything with those things, but the process of expression, of putting it down on paper, it makes it feel even more meaningful for some reason. I don't know why, but it does. And so, Aries, I'm going to stop going on, and I'm going to tell you I love you, because I do, and I thank you so much for spending this time with me. It is always such an honor to be able to bring these messages to you. And if you would be so kind as to like the video, it really does help the channel. And if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit that little bell. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. It is free to subscribe. And if you'd like to leave a comment, please do. I read them all, and they mean the world to me. And if you're new to the channel, definitely shout it out in the comments. All right, Aries, I love you. I love you. I love you. Take care of yourself. We'll talk real soon. Good night. Good night. Good night.